Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of eCommerce Lab by Ecomcy, the place where I relate to Amazon private level and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomcy, and today we bring another special guest. His name is Monte Desai, founder and CEO of Pixii.ai, where they specialize on everything that has to do with helping you generate the right content for your brands on Amazon by using AI. And that's why I wanted to bring Monte today, because that's been something that been changing very fast in the space. AI is pretty much in everybody's mouth, like what is happening, what are the right tools, how you implement it. And today we're going to be talking about, how solutions such as Pix is going to allow you to do that much easier, and why you should, be missing out. So, Monte, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hey Vincenzo, thanks for having me. Doing fantastic.
Thank you, man. Pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for your time. I know we've been working for a while now, so it's great to finally, have you here. So, I guess for those that don't know you, maybe let's start with a brief introduction about yourself, what you guys do at Pixie, and then let's start with the topic. Yeah.
For sure. So my name is Monte Desai, CEO and founder of Pixii.ai. Pixie generates visuals that sell on Amazon. And so we serve Amazon agencies and aggregators. The flow is you drop in a photo, get a bunch of visuals, infographics, main image, lifestyle shots. Um, and unlike any other tool, our designs are fully editable. You can make any changes you wish. And then we try to aim for a zero prompt experience. That's our goal.
Awesome.
And then in terms
Love.
of my background, I can just mention that really quickly if that's helpful. I spent 5 years at Bain& Company, so as a consultant, working with Fortune 500 CEOs on marketing topics and e-commerce topics. And so that's really my background, is more of like a trying to bring big brand expertise to any agency and any seller on Amazon.
Cool. Awesome. I appreciate that intro. Thank you for that. So, I guess let's dive into the topic, which is, generating images for your listings on Amazon using AI. I guess the first question that I get every single day when it comes to that is like, why I should be using AI, right? And maybe, keep going the old way of, being very detailed with my own graphic designers, my using my own kind of photographer. Like, what is the first kind of quick win you get straight away by using a tool such as yours, for example? Yeah.
I, you know, I, when we show designers Pixie and they start using it, they're like, wow, right? Like, our main users are actually designers, and
Interesting.
it's like their little secret. Uh,
They actually
sometimes they're like,
say it was done by them, by what's the AI?
well, because I mean, it's just so much faster, right? You drop in one photo, you get 20 concepts really, really quickly. A lot of them are actually ready to use on Amazon now. We say that, let's say in 2 minutes you can get 20 visuals compliant with Amazon, main images, lifestyle shots, infographics. Um, People are seeing 3x the click-through rate using our main images. On average, baseline is like 30% growth on click-through rate and conversion rate, but sometimes people are saying 3, 4, 5x. And so, yeah, why would you be stuck in the past? I mean, it's just like a new world has come. It's like, it's like hand drawing when you can use Photoshop, and now the new version is using Photoshop and you can use Pixie. And so, I don't think, like, to be clear, like, I don't think there's always a role for Figma and Photoshop and all these
Mhm.
tools, but I think you're in a new world now where AI can do it for you and it can do it much faster. And so, um, yeah, the
Yeah.
expectations are also rising. I would say this too, like now agencies are coming back to us and they're
Mhm.
like AI is a curse, right? Because
Yeah,
now
yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, some of the clients know now. Um, and so
I know.
now they're like, can you just do it today? Instead of you used to get like a day or a week or a couple weeks, but now it's like, can you just do it now? Like, can you just give me 20? Um,
I know. I think that's also that's, I guess, one of the negatives of this, that now expectations of people sometimes like crazy. Like, I know now because AI is a thing, like you should be able to do things within 1 hour. It's like, yeah, it's true that you can do things faster than ever, but at the same time, there's still the nature of the time will take me to find the product, create the prompt, understand if this is aligned with the brand guidelines and all of that. So I guess that's also creating some mismatch right now. Right?
well, I mean, it's going to be a really interesting, the next few years, right? Because exactly what you say, it's like, wait, is AI going to save us time or is it just going to make us do more work because now we can,
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of churning out like 3 clients in a day, we can do 10 and like, wait, whoa, a
Yeah.
30,
Yeah.
like, um, Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be a very interesting time for the next 5 years for sure.
yeah. That's actually a good point. Like I was discussing this with a person the other day, which is we're gonna see companies that maybe have only 10 employees, but each employee has like 100 accounts. It's like at the same time, it can be used to some extent to create more exploitation, because now you have the excuse, now within 8 hours you should be able to do X because you have 50 agents under you. But yeah, at the same time, it's the bandwidth that we as human beings have in terms of process so many tasks in a given day.
I mean, I'll give you one example from my old world. Like, you know, at this consulting firm, we would hire a ton of these like MBAs from all these fancy schools
Mhm.
like Harvard, MIT, whatever. And there's tasks now that I would like, be like, hey, like as a manager, I'd be like, hey, go research this market and figure out who the big players are and like who's going to win and what is Shine's market share. And that would take like a day, right? And they're very well trained and experienced and all that, really smart. It would take them about a day. And now I wouldn't even ask a person. I would just go to ChatGPT and I would get the answer in about 5 minutes with like 20 citations, and it would make me a presentation. Like it's a
I
whole
know.
different level. And for junior people, I think for them, they have the biggest adaptation to make, right? Because the most low level task that we would use to train junior people, that's disappearing now, right? So a lot of agencies are using Pixie for the first draft, right?
Yeah.
Immediately they get a client brief, they immediately get 20 concepts and they show it to the client. And sometimes you would have had a junior person do that. And so what is their role now?
Yeah, very, 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 very tough. Like this is something that I think brings me to my next question, which is, with everything you guys are doing at Pixie, with the technology of allowing now founders to be able, or even agencies to be able to do the images of their listings, within a very short period of time compared to what it used to take. Like, at the end of the day, what do you think this is going to lead us in terms of differentiator, right? Because if everybody ends up using AI, I think this is actually another thing that it's kind of interesting, kind of maybe we can call it paradox. It's like if everybody ends up using AI, everybody has access to the best images. Where do you see this space going? Like everybody's going to have 10 out of 10 images, and then who actually wins? you know?
I mean, taste.
Yeah.
Machines don't have taste the way humans do. And,
Yeah.
and the thing about humans and taste is that it's always changing, right?
Yeah.
Like people say the algorithms are always changing, and they are, but uh, our preferences are changing. Like now we want loose jeans, and 10 years ago we wanted skinny jeans, right? And so,
Hmm. That's
and
true.
that's happening on a super fast cycle. So taste is always going to be there. But I think this idea of everybody using AI, like
I
probably
think
for
we
you
think
and
we think that everybody's using, but actually it's very little people.
yeah, it's for you and me probably, right? But we're
Yeah.
going like I go to conferences and they'll be like, how do you use AI? Like what, an AI masterclass, right? I'll go and I'll be like, all right, I'm so excited to learn
Mhm.
something. And they're like, use ChatGPT. And I'm like, whoa, come on,
Uh,
man. Or like use custom GPTs. And I mean, we're so advanced now. Like we're doing creative briefs, we're doing entire designs, entire listings. Like I'm doing a lot of my personal life, finances, all kinds of investments, all kinds of stuff using AI now. Um, and so I think for you and me, we're just in this world where we think everybody's using it, and it's not really the case. So you still have time, by the way. If you're
yeah.
not using AI now and you want to differentiate, there's a lot of opportunity. It's still early.
Yeah, yeah. Now, when it comes to your technology, I want to bring this to the table. I think when it comes to AI, there are so many algorithms out there, right? And many ways that you can essentially engage with the AI to come up with images. And I think something that I'm sure people is gonna find very interesting to learn out of this episode is like, what are some of the things that make Pixie unique when it comes to that? Like, what are some of the things that you would say, we're very good at this or that? Because I think some of the feedback I get a lot of times from people when it comes to AI is that they might say, "Oh, when I do AI, people come with seven fingers." So, or the text maybe is overlaying here with grammatic mistakes or things like that. So, what is your feedback on all of that?
Yeah, so I would say three things that make us stand out. So one is you drop in a photo, you get 20, and they're beautiful, and they're tailored to you, and they work, and you can show them to clients, and you don't have to write new prompts, right? So that's one, zero prompt. The other is that it's editable, right? And so our designs and images, you can take full control in a Canvas editor, and any small thing that the client wants or that you want, you can just change that one thing. And the last thing is, it's optimized for Amazon, right? We also do work on other platforms as well, but Amazon has a lot of rules, and then beyond the rules, there's a lot of tricks to try to, stand out and convince people to buy. And so, we scraped 100,000 Amazon listings to try to figure out what works, and we've baked that into the product. We've baked that into the templates, because ultimately, I think like from a technical perspective, what we found is that people just don't care what tool, what model, what technology. They just want it to work, and they want it to work fast, and that's what we do.
Cool. Now, when it comes to this, how are we essentially navigating the whole thing of the nature of the products when it comes to AI? Because also something I've been hearing, and I want to hear your feedback on this, is for certain products that depending the complexity, AI is still better at some pros and others, depending on sometimes the lifestyle that has to show or the environments and things like that. Do you see some categories where you see AI getting very very accurate when it comes to images, and maybe some type of product that you see okay it's taking a bit longer because of the type of product, the elements that the image needs that where AI is still struggling? Is there something there, or you think it's become pretty baseline across the board when it comes to?
So anything that I say now is going to be out of date in about a month,
Yeah,
because
most
the
likely.
models are moving so quickly. But today, CPG crushes
Mm,
like anything that's like a can or a bottle
mhm,
or you know
mhm.
um, yeah, food,
Yeah.
beauty, health, supplements. Those categories AI has figured out because they're all about the same size, and there's like a million
Mhm,
images of them, and so those are good. I think the categories where, and those are a lot of volume, by the way. So most agencies that we work with, I mean, every one of those CPG brands needs like a seasonal refresh or a new flavor, or
yeah.
um, the stuff that it's like still a little bit challenging. I think is home goods, sporting goods,
Mm,
because there's such a big variety of what you could have. So furniture does well at, because AI understands what a couch is and what a lamp is. But if you have like a really odd shaped rack, or we had someone who was doing, I think someone in your team was actually doing like a mandala shaped.
yeah.
I don't even know what to call it, and so I can't even describe it. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what AI is gonna do.
That's fine.
Um, yeah, CPG crushes it. Clothing really, really crushes it. And then things beyond that, it starts to get kind of choppy. And the issues that you'll see is it'll get the size wrong,
Mhm,
or that's the main one probably. It'll get the size wrong, um,
mm.
or it might distort the product a little bit. But I think if you give it a few months, I think that'll also be gone.
Cool, cool. Now, when it comes to AI implementation as well, something that's been very hot topic, I would say, is how we also make sure these are optimized for Rufus, right?
Mm.
In terms of how Rufus is analyzing images, in terms of the copy they put on the images, the lifestyle, the elements. How are we actually reverse engineering that? If so, like a tool such as Pixii also take that in consideration, and how do you think that's going to play a key role moving forward when it comes to optimizing images as well? Yeah.
So yeah, totally. We do optimize for Rufus. I think the whole conversation about like getting AI to recommend your product and all that. I mean, if you write for humans, that works pretty well for AI. Like Amazon, Google, every major platform has moved a long time away from keywords. Like it used to be, you know, uh, look for the word grapefruit, and it's just like a find and replace or a control F for grapefruit, and that's not been the case for a long time. Semantic search, which is like searching the way humans search, and reading the
Mm-hmm.
way humans read, that's been happening for a while. And so Rufus does that. So as long as you write your title and your bullets in a way that's digestible, clear,
Mm-hmm.
obvious to any human, then I think it works pretty well. The images, Rufus is going to change a lot in the next few years. Like at this point, um, they went back and forth on whether or not they're using alt text. And so if they say that, yes, we are actually going to go ahead and use alt text, we'll continue to support alt text. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's unclear, it's unclear where that's going to go, right? There's a world right now where these bots are basically just reading the text. Are they going to read images eventually as well? Because in that case, you want to have a lot of images that tell your story very, very well. Um, yeah, so a lot of change, but I think the TLDR, in my opinion, is if you're writing good copy for humans and making good visuals for humans, that should do the job for Rufus. There's like, why would they introduce new tricks, right? You have to think about this
Yeah,
from their point of view. Like, why would they make it like a little secret?
yeah, I agree. I agree. So I guess when it comes to this, is creating all these images another day, and this is something that I'm very keen to also learn from you. Is like, given that they are at the end of the day is going to be doing all the editing, heavy lifting, integration elements, and so forth. That means you also need to be very good at giving the direction. Like, this is my persona, this is what I want the image to express, these are my brand guidelines. And I think most of the time people don't have even that defined in the first place, right? And if you don't have that defined, AI to some extent is going to create a lot of assumptions, which might not actually convey the right message. So how you see also playing a role here when it comes to that?
That's such a key point. I mean, yeah, it's if you don't know who your customer is and why they're buying your product and how your product stands out from the competition, it'll be really, really hard to design visuals that really stand out. AI can make some inferences. It can say, oh yeah, let's show off these features, let's make things that are beautiful. But beautiful is not the same thing as selling, right? And so yeah, I think that's definitely a place that you mentioned, like how do agencies and brands stand out. Like having a good understanding of the customer, I think is a really, really good place. Um, in terms of our process, what we're seeing a lot of people do is they'll go and write a creative brief by doing things like customer interviews, by looking at reviews and competitors, and
Hmm.
and then using and dropping that creative brief into Pixie, and then Pixie does all the designing.
Cool.
Um, but I think you're right. Like that's focus on the customer, right? It always comes back to the customer.
Yeah, if you don't have the right, that's the thing. If you don't have the right persona, like, is you might end up, even when it comes back to the Rufus conversation, you need to really understand the age that you're targeting, the gender, the lifestyle. Otherwise, you end up doing an image that is amazing when it comes to looks, but is you actually not convey the message that you wanna convey to the image, which is gonna have a direct impact on your conversions. Yeah.
Yeah, who is your customer? What do they use it for? Right. And so a big thing with Rufus and ChatGPT and others is like use cases where it's like, I need shoes for trail running. And, ideally, the thing is also Rufus doesn't have at this point, it's not really using your history that much. So for
Right.
example, if it would know that, hey, I prefer wide shoes, it might even say something about that, like, hey, this shoe runs wide. So you don't need to buy the wide size because the shoe already runs wide. Um, and so they haven't even integrated with all the other Amazon features that do things like that. So, um, I mean, I think that's where it's going to go, like true contextual learning, where Amazon knows more about the customer, and hopefully they expose that more to you. But
Hmm.
it's TBD. It's TBD over the next few years.
Yeah. Now, tell me how with the AI, especially when it comes to split testing, you think that's also a bit changing the game? Because the reason why I want to bring this topic is like talking about conversion, something that we recommend and we do internally as well, is
Mm.
split testing the main image, secondary images, A plus, and all of that. And that's something in the past was so expensive to do that you were doing most of the time once or twice, and that's it. But now, like, you can do it pretty much on a monthly basis or even more, because you have AI solution like yours that can allow you to do within hours. So, are you seeing also people adapting that a lot into the SOPs? Like, how are you seeing also people using AI when it comes to split testing? Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I mean, that's definitely one big use case for sure. One, so I can talk about some of the use cases if that's helpful from the agency side and the aggregator
yeah,
side. So one is A/B testing, generate 20 main images, get some internal feedback, get some client feedback, and then put them into like Pickfu or IntelliV or into some of these tools that help you figure out, what people like, and then just run tests on Amazon itself, right? And then see the winner there. And so, yeah, just as you mentioned, instead of doing it once a year, now you're like, well, why not just do it once a month? Why not just
yeah.
keep click-through rate high? That's one use case. Another use case is actually more about speed. So we have you know, some folks who are just basically like, hey, let's just rip out a quick listing, really, really good. We know exactly what we want. We've done a bunch of research. We've been thoughtful about the creative brief. You know, we need to make 100 listings. So let's rip them out really, really quickly. So it's about speed. And then for others, I think it's more about like client retention. And so, and outreach, right? And so you're like, send a free image, as part of your
Yeah.
outreach, or on the first client call when you're pitching them, you could be like, hey, here's some ideas that we have, right? And so you can impress them really quickly with things that are beautiful, and you have a lot of freedom in that time to be rough, because you can be like, hey, look, we just did this really quickly. We don't know much about you and what your goals are,
Hmm.
but here's some designs. And so those are 3 use cases that we're seeing.
Cool, cool. And I would say to start bring this whole conversation to a closure in terms of maybe we can call it like either predictions or tips or mistakes to avoid. Like, what are some of the things that you feel like um is something that people should take out of this conversation in terms of AI and when it comes to image implementation? Like, is there some things that you feel are coming that are like in the shadow, especially you that are so deep into the communities and technology that you say, oh, I see people are doing this and most people don't know what is coming, or mistakes that people keep doing? Or is there something there that you like to share to close to this episode?
Yeah, I mean, you have an opportunity to stand out by using AI. You can, you know, ship designs faster. You can ship designs that make more money. Um, you can ship designs that are more beautiful. Like, and I'm talking like 20 times faster, right? Like minutes. You can have amazing designs, and you can still stand out now, right? There's a lot of brands and agencies that are using AI and they are billing out beautiful listings, but the vast majority are not. And so if you hop on now, it's like 20x the speed. Wait, what? Like, let's do it. Social media and like the world of conferences and stuff like that, you get the feeling that, oh, like people talk about AI, but it's not quite there yet. Like, it's there. It's 100% there. People are making money on it. They've reinvented their whole process around it. And so, yeah, now is the time. Don't delay.
Cool, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for, all your advice and all your insights. And I'm sure, people might want to, explore more about the tool and everything you guys do. So tell me how people can find you. Yeah.
Uh, Pixii.ai, check us out. You can book time with me or one of our sales reps and just get a sense of what the platform looks like. I think I should mention one thing that we're going to do that I think a lot of folks would be
Sure.
interested in is, create one master listing and then scale it to 1,000 listings. So that's
Wow.
one big thing we're working on now. You know the process, right? You make the
Yeah, yeah.
listing, you get the client's approval, and you're like, all right, well, we have 1,000 other products to do this for. We need before and
We
after.
had the
We need,
blueprint, how we copy pasted to the whole catalog, essentially. Yeah, yeah.
but then make it work, right? Like,
Mhm.
if you have a curly hair shampoo that's your master listing, but you have to go for the blonde shampoo and
Yeah,
the conditioner and all that stuff. You have to show
yeah.
different images and different visuals. So that's what we're working on now. So that'll be out. Is it September? So October. Yeah, it'll be out. Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time. I mean, I'm glad to have the conversation with you, because it's like so much has changed so quickly, and probably everything that we talked about is gonna be out of date next month.
Mhm. I know,
But
I know, I know. I'm very excited as well. I think what is coming for the remainder of the year next year is super, super, it's gonna be mind blowing for a lot of people. Like, I think most people don't know what is coming and how fast this is moving, and that's why putting a podcasts like this out there is key, so people can get a glimpse of what solutions out there, what you should be aware of, what things to avoid, and hopefully that's gonna make the whole selling journey much easier. But it's been a pleasure to have you here, Monte. Thank you so much for your time,
yeah,
and looking forward to a partnership. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
yeah. Thanks so much, Vincenzo. Have a great
Thank
day,
you,
and
man.
yeah, we'll talk soon.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye bye.